And we're rolling. Cool, what's going on, people? It's your boy Terence Kojo Adu. Welcome to the Infinite Man channel. Today we have our first guest. one that's been pending for a minute. So I'm so happy to have him on. Introduce yourself, player.
No, I appreciate you, Terence, man. Well, first of all, my name is Yemi Adelani. I'm happy to be on this obviously platform as well, the Infinite Man. Here joining you, Quadro, as well. It's important that kind of just share some wisdom, to our people as well, man. I think it's important. Happy to be here.
Good, man. Good. So yeah, man, introduce yourself in terms of what you do. Obviously, what you do in your professional career, and also what you do outside of it.
So that's actually good as well. So my professional career, for me, obviously, I'm a software sales manager. So I currently work for a company called T.I.M. So we more or less specialize in like AI and software testing, just making sure that we're improving the software quality of, various companies in the technology space. Okay. And I've been doing that for about 4.5 years. Yeah, 4.5 years. And it's been an upward hill, to be honest, as well, in terms of my progression. I started off as a business development representative, and then developed myself from the ground up. So I had to start from literally zero, and then obviously learn my trade as well within that year or two. I would say 18 months. And then, of course, I put myself in it, obviously being a senior business development representative, whereby I was more or less supporting the team, making sure that, are they using the processes and systems correctly in order for them to produce pipeline, and making sure that, we meet the, revenue target. And then, of course, I always had a knack for management. Right. And I said to myself, I want to go into management. So I kind of presented the idea to my line manager. And then, 2 years ago, to be exact as well. Yeah, 2 years ago, to be exact. Yeah, that's when he obviously offered me the job, was obviously being a full-time, business development and representative manager for the whole of EMEA. So the whole of EMEA meaning the whole of Europe. So that consists of UK. Obviously, I've got a little bit of Middle East as well, which is not European, but it's under the scope of obviously the UK, just due to the fact that we have a director that supports that team. Right. We've got France and emerging markets. So you've got the emerging markets. You've got Spain, Italy. And then, of course, you've got the Benelux and Nordics, which consist of the Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg. And the Nordics consists of Norway, Denmark, Sweden and Finland. So I'm kind of supporting those particular regions. And it's like, it is a challenge because you've got different personalities that you have to manage. You have to, report, forecast figures as well to the sales leaders to ensure that, we are meeting the pipeline revenue target for my team. All right. And, in terms of percentage, we have to accumulate at least 33% of the sales pipeline as well for the company, T.I.M. And right now,
of the overall.
Yeah, of the overall as well, opportunities that we generate for the sales team. And so far we're doing really well. We're tracking on 45%. So it's kind of looking promising as well too. So the commission's looking nice. Think about it that way. It's healthy. That's what we look for, right?
Yeah.
But that's my professional career. In terms of my my personal side of things, so I play football. As you obviously Terence as well. I've been playing football from
back
young.
In the day, bro.
And I'm 30 years old now, and I'm still playing football. I know I look young for a 30-year-old, really, to be fair. Like, everyone thinks I'm 22, 23, but it's all about keeping yourself in shape, really. I've been, I play a lot of football as well. I play semi-professional, so I play football part-time. So in the week, it consists of me playing like 3 times a week. If I add an extra day, it's like going to the gym as well, making sure I'm keeping my body right. I currently play for a team called West Essex in the Essex Senior League. My position, I play as a striker. I like the glory. I like getting the goals. I like my name being in the headlines.
Right, top bins.
Yeah, top bins, Mo Salah. That kind of feeling, you know what I'm saying? But no, I like I like that feeling of scoring goals as well, and making sure that I'm helping the team win games. And separate to football, I like reading. I like playing chess. I like a bunch of board games as well. So it's like keeps the mind thinking. You want to make sure that you're always alert at all times with everything, and just love family. I'm a big family man as well. I love being around my family, spending time with them, spending time with my nieces and nephews, spending time with obviously my parents, my siblings too.
Right.
making sure I'm there for them as well, just checking once now and then. But yeah, it's a lovely life I live at the moment in time as well. Sometimes it can be challenging, but yeah, we'll get to that anyway in this conversation.
Yeah,
So
of
that's good.
course, man. Gotta give thanks,
Yeah,
man. Gotta give thanks.
trust me.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's definitely start off with the career. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you do a lot. Yeah. So what got you into business development? And actually, firstly, what's the difference between business development and sales?
So business development, it does consist of sales, but the difference is that business development is only responsible for the early stage of the sales pipeline.
Right.
So they're only involved in introducing a solution to the prospect, and basically is the basic marketing head of that company to try and generate business. So it's going to
Right.
consist of a lot of cold calling. It's going to consist
Right.
of a lot of utilizing business development platforms such as LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Zoom Info, Lucia. What other platforms that you can use as well? Cognizant, for example, Sixth Sense. Those type of platforms is going to propel you to be able to identify the prospect's pain points.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
when you are making a cold call, speak to prospects about, a generic issue that they're currently facing.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So, for example, in my type of field in software testing, a lot of prospects struggle with the fact of, their quality of their software is not, up to scratch, and it's, kind of making them lose customers. And in
Okay,
order for
so
them
this
to,
is the software that they're selling, yeah?
yes, exactly. This is a software that they're utilizing as well in their main business applications. So
Okay.
in order for them to obviously make sure that their business is running smoothly. So they
Right.
have to acquire enterprise graded software into their
Okay.
business application. So if they use a lot of Salesforce applications, if they use a lot of built-in applications as well for their particular company,
Mm-hmm.
they obviously acquire a lot of software out there, whether it's open source, which is the free version that doesn't last long. But if you
Right.
want to use us as well, it's more, enterprise graded. It's specific to, the most at risk areas in your testing framework. So, for
Right.
example, if they've got, the quality of their software is not up to scale and it's making them lose customers,
Mm-hmm.
our conversation is about, the BDR. Obviously, we call it BDR, but it's business development representative. We
Mm-hmm.
speak to the prospect and say, "Are you going through this situation and this situation?
Right.
Talk me through that journey. And when are you looking to roll out this initiative? Is it something that the business is demanding for you to complete in this particular given time?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk me through that as well." So
Right.
we're involved in introducing, obviously, that solution to the prospect, get them in a meeting, and that's when
Mm-hmm.
the sales executives get involved. What the sales executives do that is different to the business development representative is that they manage the whole sales cycle, depending on
Right.
what products you're selling. So if you're selling a product like, Tricentis, it's going to be a longer sales cycle. So it will take about at least 12 to 18 months for it to close.
Okay.
Whereas, if you've got like you know, a quick software that is plug and play, for example, which is
Yeah.
completely different to Tricentis, a
Right.
plug and play, solution will probably take about, 1 month to 3 months of the sales cycle to be completed and closed.
Right.
So, yeah,
So I'm
sales
assuming
manage.
that means it's higher ticket.
Yeah, it's a higher ticket base. Yeah, exactly. Basically, which is okay. It's fine. But at the same time as well, it does come with its disadvantages. The same way with obviously my solutions as well in my company, it comes with obviously its side effects too. So we
Yeah.
just make sure that we try to minimize it and make the prospect's journey much more easier using software. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of prospects, what I mean by prospects is like new business. So like a lot of these businesses as well, when they want to acquire software, they're always afraid that their job might be at loss because
Right.
that
Yeah.
AI and software now is taking over now in
Yes,
society
of
right now
course.
in terms of like
Yeah.
it's replacing human errors and is actually putting it's kind of eradicating, eliminating all those human errors
Yep.
to ensure that like if we have a built-in AI and software solution, it minimizes any errors or risk areas as well that any human will do. So
Yes.
when they start to hear that kind of language, oh my goodness, my job's at risk. So we always kind of give them, the reassurance that your job's not at risk because it still needs to be manually managed by a human being.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah. So that's the difference between business development and sales. Business development is all about the early stages.
Mm-hmm.
The sales team is all about managing the whole sales cycle from start to finish.
So the sales cycle is actually the point at which they is that like the negotiation point or
So it's more or less like, okay, for example, stage 0 to stage 1 is the BDR's responsibility to support the sales guy or the
mm-hmm.
saleswoman.
Yeah.
And then from stages 2 to, let's say, 5, which is talking about like business procurement, negotiation, legal, all that
Right.
type of jazz. POC, which is a proof of concept, meaning that, okay, fine, let's find proof around a business case that this company is facing and align it with what solution is going to be best fitting for them. And then
Right.
take it from there as well when we go down the pipe, when we go down the sales cycle as well, and then we start talking about negotiating licenses, the duration of the licenses, whether it's a year or 3 years. So and that's all managed by the sales rep
Okay.
between stage 2 to stage 5. If I'm looking at it from a Tricentis standpoint, other companies have different sales cycles. They have different, steps. But within my step as well is always from stage 0 to stage 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So in terms of like demoing the product, is that something that you have to do in business development, or at what stage does that happen?
Yeah, good question as well. So the stage 2 as well. So I always attribute stage 0 to stage 1 as early discovery, trying to understand the prospect's needs and pain points.
Yeah.
And then, of course, stage 2 is where the demo is going to be managed by the sales solution architect.
Okay.
So the sales solution architect is well equipped to understand, what the product's all about, the capabilities of the product, the advantages, the challenges that you may face with the product as well, and also making sure that, that is suitable for the customer's needs. So the solution architect will kind of drive that conversation with the prospect or the customer. And then the account executive as well, which is a sales rep, would say, are you happy with this demo? Can we do a POC around the demo, the demo session that we showed you? And that will be, kind of, moving down the sales cycle in terms of stage 3 to stage 4, and then stage 5. That's when you talk about the negotiation and business procurement.
Okay. So I guess in business development and being a rep and up to a manager, like what do you think are the main skills that you need as a business development representative or business development rep manager?
Yeah, so like I think for you to be, let's say, in the front line, which I call the business development representative, you have to be resilient. That's the most important thing. I think that's
A lot
one
of
of the
rejection,
key.
yeah?
Yeah, you have to be resilient. You have to be able to love and enjoy rejection because you have to understand, like I said before previously, you are the marketing head of the organization. So you're going to be cold calling a lot of people that do not want to be called. So you're going to be out of a million companies out there trying to sell something to a particular prospect. And it's the same prospect as well. So imagine the amount of emails you're sending, the amount of calls you're making, the amount of LinkedIn connections you're making. You have to have so much resilience to be able to kind of bypass like so many no's or so many F-offs, for example. Like, don't call my number, F off. I'm going to report you. I'm going to put you in my spam folder, which a lot of, top executives do a lot of the time, whereby like they have a lot of people that are trying to sell them a solution and they just put them in a spam folder. So you're going to have a lot of resilience as well to be able to handle rejection and love rejection. You have to literally absorb it. Another thing would be, I would say, attention to detail, because it's very, very easy to be in a business development role as well and lose focus. Whereas, you're focusing on, I just want to get to my target, rather than focusing on, I want to help the customer. So you may have a target of, let's say, for example, that, I need to get 5 accepted meetings to be moving from stage 0 to stage 1. That's how BDRs get their commission. They get the commission for, like, if there's any, accepted opportunities moving from stage 0, which is a meeting set, to a stage 1, which is an opportunity, they get compensated for that as well. I think on average, you're probably looking at 150 to 250 pounds they get per meeting. So they get that per meeting. So accumulate that to 5. If it's 250 times 5, that's 1,000. So they're getting at least, they're probably getting at least like 1,000 something plus or whatever they get in as well in, accepted meetings as well in a month. Some companies, offer monthly commission. Some companies offer quarterly. I would say the monthly option is much better because it's more secure, more stable. You have more incentive to, to make more money as well with your accelerators. So attention to detail, we're just making sure that you're helping the customer, understanding their needs as well, rather than focusing on, I need to get to my target just to make my money and just go home. No, you have to have an entrepreneurial spirit as well, because at the same time, you have to be a CEO of your own patch. So if for my BDRs now, if I've given them a region to support, so the UK, for example, I've given you the UK market, I've given you a lead list of all the companies that you can tap into as well with our solutions. I've got the list of all the prospects that you need to speak to. and I've got all this data in regards to their annual report, looking at their last acquisitions, looking at their articles, looking at their news, their news feeds, giving you all these sales intelligence for you to derive opportunities from these platforms in order for you to be successful. But you need to understand exactly what that means. So a lot of the time, I kind of, especially with me, I'm a manager right now, and I tend to go away from hiring people that are coming out of university because of the fact that they just want to just get a job. They just want to just get a job and just make money. Whereas I want someone that is actually specialized in AI, specialized in software, or has an interest in that type of field. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing that I look for. But yeah, because attention to detail is important. You're spinning a lot of plates. And lastly, I would say ambition. You have to be ambitious.
Yeah.
If you just want to be a lead generator for the next 15 years as well, I don't think this is not the right, sales is not the right job for you. If I'm being completely honest. Sales industry is not the right job for people that just want to be lead generators. It's for people that actually want to be aspiring entrepreneurs or individual contributors, or they want to be in management, or they want to be, in director level and C level. That's the type of aspirations that you want to, go up to. And if you don't have that knack of trying to succeed and progress, then this is not the job for you.
Right.
So I always say being resilient, attention to detail, and being ambitious is the key three things. Is the three key things that you need to start off as a business development representative. And then as a manager as well, it's literally it's times 10 of those three things I mentioned.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's about delegating authority, making sure that you understand, okay, fine. How am I going to prepare my team to be successful? What is it? What do I need to do to motivate my team? Do I need to put spiffs in order? Spiffs meaning, spiffs are like extra incentives. For example, Kojo, you're part of my team. You're supporting the Benelux region. If you can get 10 meetings as well that are accepted into opportunities as well, you get an extra £500 in your commission. Those sort of things as well, because it's going to be like, oh, okay, this is up for grabs now. Oh, the BDR that gets the most, let's say, for example, so we have different solutions that are around performance testing. So we call it Tricentis Neoload. If the person that has the most BDRs from the Neoload opportunities, let's say the first BDRs to get 5 Neoload opportunities as well gets $1,000. Everybody is trying to book meetings as well with prospects to book for Neoload so they can get their £1,000 as well. So we give those type of incentives, or, the person that does the most billing as well gets a free Amazon voucher, or gets a day off on a Friday, or, gets an extra £50 bottle of wine or something that they can buy with a voucher or stuff like that as well. So we always put incentives like that in place to maximize the success and the output of my team. And also making sure that, attention to detail. So I have one-to-one sessions as well with my BDRs to ensure that, okay, fine, what is your plan for the month? Let me see your pipeline for the month. How many meetings have you booked? What challenges are you facing? What accounts are you looking to work on? Have you discussed with your account executives? What's the feedback with sales? What's the feedback with the leaders? What's the feedback in terms of your work? Do you need some extra support from me? Do you need me to join in on calls when you're talking to prospects? Do you want me to do an executive outreach? Those sort of things as well, I'm actually conversating and making sure that I'm reporting on a weekly basis. The people that are successful, which I mean are the top players in my team, because you're always going to have top players. You're going to have players that are going to be, lacking behind. The top players, I always do bi-weekly one-to-ones with them because I don't want to bother them. They know what they're doing. They've got their process ready. They've got their systems ready. Don't bother me, Yemi. I'll get the meetings for you. I'll hit my target. The people that are like lacking behind as well, that have a lot of areas of improvement that they need to do in their day-to-day job, I always do weekly one-to-ones with them as well to make sure that I'm checking in on, are you doing enough activity on your accounts? Have you got access to this platform? Do you need more collateral? Do you need more BDR resources in terms of building your sales acumen, making sure that you're able to cold call? Are you utilizing the best, material for, when you're pitching, when you're doing a business pitch, depending on what type of executive you're speaking to, whether it's C level or whether it's director level or whether it's first line manager level. So I keep all these resources in place as well to ensure that my team are successful. And management is lonely. What I mean by that is lonely is that leadership is lonely. You're not going to please everybody. That's one thing that people need to understand when you're in a managerial role. You're not going to please anybody. Leadership is lonely, and it has to be like that as well in order for you to see success in your team. So you can't be everyone's friend. So there's a balance. So you can be friendly, but at the same time, let's get to work. You're a
Yes.
part-time therapist, but you're a full-time leader. You know, the worst managers are the
Mm.
ones that are saying, "Oh, I want to be the best manager. I want to be the best manager, whatever. I want to be the best leader." That's my own mindset. So being the best leader is important to me because I want to lead people to greatness rather than manage people because I'm getting a paycheck.
Yes. Yes.
That's just it, really. I hope that
Nah,
makes sense as well. I kind of got on a tangent a bit.
nah, you've
Yeah.
explained it very well, man. And I think there's a lot of parallels in different areas of life because obviously rejection, you have to be able to handle rejection.
Yeah.
Because each rejection, if you're doing it right and learning each time, you're getting closer to the result.
Exactly. And sales is a life skill.
Yes,
You need to
exactly.
have, it's the art of negotiation and persuasion. I always say you need to
Yes.
have you need to be able to. Everyone focuses on the bright lights of sales. Oh my god, I'm making so much commission. Always, it's a highly lucrative industry to go into. But if you
Hmm.
haven't got the resilience, the ambition, and attention to detail, and being able to love rejection, it's not for you because it's
Yes.
going to be some hard times. So it's going to be some dark times. Trust me, some
Yeah,
dark
yeah.
times. Yeah, man.
And how do you lift yourself out of those dark times? Do you like go to an exercise to kind of pump up, or do you just tell yourself I'm getting closer, or like what's the process that you normally use?
You know what it is? It's like it's a bunch of things. So obviously, of course, prayer. You're making sure that if you are a religious person,
Yep.
prayer is important.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely going into the gym as well to let that aggression out and the frustration out.
Yep.
It's important as well. Your well-being is massively important. Mental health, which is a very big topic as well in men today, right now. Like
Yeah.
I always say, if you're going through dark times as well, whether it's at work, whether it's through family, whether it's through, trials and tribulations in your life as well, I make sure that, you definitely need to talk to someone. So,
Hmm.
you know, us black people, we kind of frown upon like therapy, and I always encourage it. I think therapy is
Right.
important because I think it makes you, mentally sane and kind of be able to have an extra sounding board that can listen to you rather than speaking to, your family member, for example, which will have a biased overview on things. If you
Yes,
speak
of
to a
course.
therapist that's obviously external, it's
Hmm.
completely different. So like I just like to just go to the gym, like to read, like to pray, make sure that I just get my mind right as well. Because if I don't get my mind right, I won't be able to perform.
Yes, of
You
course,
know,
of course,
if you don't prepare, you're just preparing to fail.
of course, hundred
But yeah,
percent.
but sales is it's tough. Sales is tough.
And what role does active listening play in sales? Like having to listen rather than just trying to
Oof,
having the mindset of I'm selling, I'm selling, I'm
I'm
selling.
saying. Um, I would say you develop active listening when you are asking questions that are relatable to the prospect. When that prospect is speaking, you listen, take on board, hear the buzzwords, wait for the keywords, pause. Always pause. The worst sales reps always have to interrupt when they hear a buzzword. Oh, yeah. By the way, we do this, by the way. But the prospect hasn't finished. Let the prospect finish because you may have heard, instead of interrupting them when you heard one buzzword, wait for them to finish. You'll probably hear 5 or 6 buzzwords. That's your sale
Mm,
right there.
mm.
And if your company does, if your company offers those solutions or offers those, business pain points as well to be eradicated, then it's a win-win for you. So rather
Right,
than selling 150k worth of licenses, you could have sold 1 million in one deal, in
right.
one deal, over a 5-year period. You're laughing there. You can go on holiday if you wanted to, you
Mm,
know, stuff like that. But like people, the worst sales reps, they don't they have that type of behavior whereby they have to, I need to sell, I need to sell, I need to sell. If you just wait, pause, listen
mhm.
to what the prospect's talking about, let them explain their journey, give them the platform because prospects want to talk.
Yep.
They want to talk. Prospects or customers, they want to talk. With customers, when even if it's like an upsell or cross-sell opportunity, which means they have our solutions already, but we want to tap into a different business unit with another solution that they don't have in that business unit.
Yep.
So when even that, you still have to actively listen.
Mm,
Take away from sales now, if it's to do with management, you have to actively listen. Okay, fine. What are the strengths and what are the areas of improvement with your BDRs? I never say weaknesses. I don't say that because what weaknesses, when you hear weaknesses, what it does to the brain psyche, yeah,
mhm.
it kind of presents a negative output that I'm not good at my job. I'm just going to quit.
It's about framing, yeah.
It's about framing. So if you say strengths, areas of improvement, okay, you know what? I have this area to improve on. It's not a weakness, but it's an area that I need to improve on. When I improve that, that's a strength. When I improve this, it's a strength. It's a strength. It's a strength. And you're just adding value, adding value, adding value. So, you know, active listening is a part of life as well. You need to be able to listen. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand.
Yes.
And you apply that in sales. You apply that in any type of job.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you really had a lot of like interesting experiences, obviously, because you worked from the ground up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So in terms of the BDRs, like how do you know what they're doing wrong or right? Like, are the calls monitored? Are they recorded, or do they tell you, or how do you get that feedback?
So how I monitor the BDR activities is through our CRM, which is Salesforce Lightning. So so Salesforce Lightning is just a platform that enables you to kind of document all your activities, all the sales deals that are currently pending, or any, you know, customer relationship management, you know, tools that we have in place. So I've created a dashboard whereby I accumulate how many all the BDRs of how many activities they've done in that week, how many activities that they've done in that month, and how many activities that they've done quarterly. So I look at weekly, monthly, quarterly.
Right.
And when I look at, you know, the activity that they're doing, I'm monitoring, okay, fine, who's lacking behind and who is performing exceedingly well. So if I'm seeing 2 BDRs make roughly, if I look at the KPIs, our KPIs are structured, they're not even too wild like that, to be fair. Our KPIs are basically 30 calls a day,
right?
20 emails a day, or no, sorry, 50 emails a day, adding, let's say, 30 to 40 people. If I don't see that type of number, or even that number being exceeded, then I can kind of tell who is going to be struggling this month as well, in terms of obviously pipeline for opportunities to be accepted. So if you've done 20 activities in the week, I know for a fact, if I look at your pipeline now, you haven't got any opportunities, as opposed to someone that's doing, let's say, 300 a week, has got the pipeline to do it, because why? They're doing the work. Right. If I don't see the output, the outcome is just going to show as 0.
Yes.
You know, like if you're not going to, you know, put in the work, 0 output. If you put in the work, maximize output. So I always make sure that I monitor those dashboards as well on a daily basis, to ensure that, you know, okay, fine, if I need to report to the sales leaders, I need to report to the business level executives that, okay, fine, how are the BDRs performing as well? How much pipeline have they generated as well in the last quarter? Okay, we generated at least 43 to 45% pipeline in Q1. Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent, Yemi. Well done. Really, really happy with that as well. Put extra funding in the BDR team. So with that extra funding, what I can do with that extra funding is, you know, bring more incentives into the team as well, in terms of spiffs. So whoever books the most opportunities can do this, can get this money, can get this voucher, can get this day off at work. More funding in terms of, oh, I may have an increased headcount whereby I may want to, you know, hire someone else as well. So that funding I get as well can be attributed to the amount of the salary that I can give, whether it's between 45 to, let's say, 60K. Some BDRs even get 65K base starting. And then the on-target earnings is probably like 30K. So in the total, you get 95K package that you're getting every month if you hit your number. So you tell that to a sales rep, you tell that to a BDR, oh my goodness, there's so much earning potential I can make in the BDR team.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do. So, I mean, you know, I monitor all these things as well, because it's all part and parcel. I monitor it. I see the output. I see the outcome of opportunities being generated as well. If it's less, we're going to have weekly one-to-ones. If it's not as much, we'll have bi-weekly one-to-ones, but I still need to push the top players. I still need to make sure that I'm kind of keeping them engaged. I don't want to keep them less motivated, because, you know, they get complacent. They'll be like, oh, I'm a top player, man. I'm always hitting my number, whatever. And they start to get complacent.
Yes.
Nah, not with me. Let's kind of increase that drive. Let's increase that drive as well to be successful.
You know, go even higher. Yeah.
Consistency is key.
Yes. You don't want to have one good month and then it does. Like,
trust me, I'm telling you, man. And it happens in sales. It happens. You know, you have
Right.
one crazy month, you may get like 25 stage ones of opportunities accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Next month, you only have 6. What happens?
Right.
You know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say? You know,
Mm-hmm.
sales is never guaranteed. That's why what's guaranteed is you, your consistency, how you
Yeah.
manage your life. You're in control of your own life. You're your CEO in your own patch.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that's it.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So, in terms of AI and automation, how do you think that's affecting the tech industry? Because obviously it's blown up. There's so many AI apps on phones. You know how that video apps and apps on how to use Drake's voice or
Yeah.
use like a fake video of Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? There's so many apps like Chat
Mm.
GPT is blowing up. I've got Chat GPT Plus, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's very valuable.
Likewise. I
But
mean,
yeah, like what do
yeah,
you how do you think is affecting tech at the moment?
I think it's making us more visible in the market, especially like in the industry that we're in. I mean, COVID played a big part in that as well. So I think when COVID happened, even though it was definitely a negative aspect in our lives as well, it kind of, put our lives on hold, on hold, sorry.
Mm,
But I think the introduction of AI and automation as well during the COVID time kind of made people aware that, there is tools out there to help them
yes.
and kind of, understand, the successes with it. Because right now we're in a digital world, everything's on your phone, everything's on a laptop, all these platforms that are being created as well. There's always going to be, a sense of AI and automation in it as well, too. Whether it's, you're building a website, you're building an application form on a website as well to be fully automated because people are going through the pain of trying to type in their first name and their last name, putting their date of birth, all that kind of stuff, when it can be fully automated on a platform that has already derived the information as well from another platform. You don't even
Yeah.
need to, it's already pre-filled. All those sorts of things as well is coming into play now.
Mm,
And it's never going to it's going to be literally a big juggernaut in the world, because you got the lack of Elon Musk, for example, as well. Look what he's doing. Like, before
mm.
you know it, they're going to be creating robots for us, man, to be
Yeah.
cleaning our houses and stuff like that as well, getting our shopping. you know
Mm-hmm.
they do these movies for a reason. You know, this iRobot with Will Smith as well. They do these. Trust me, these movies are done for a reason, because there's
Of
something
course.
there's something in the works. So the
Yes.
next 10 years now, you never know. We may have flying cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something in the technology space that is constantly growing, and AI and automation is just the beginning of it.
Right.
Before you know
Right.
it, you have Gen AI, then you have lifestyle AI, whereby they're probably gonna give you a chip as well for you to use as well, to be swallowing as well, and making sure that you lose your body fat. Stuff like that. It's
Yes.
crazy. Like, there's so many things out there as well that is going to be changing. But what I would say about AI and automation market is that the amount of funding, Quadro, the amount of funding that's in that market is
Mm,
crazy. You're looking at
mm.
least, like, in dollar value, you're looking about, I'd say, a rough estimate of 10.6 billion
Wow.
year on year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
It's growing.
everyone's trying new things as well. Like my
Mm.
company now, they literally just got some investment funding as well from a private equity firm called GTCR. So they're a private equity firm as well. They're heavily invested into Tricentis as well. They've given us about 4.33 billion
Wow.
in our company too. So that's going to help us, kind of boost our valuation as well in the market to 5.6 billion, which is
Yes.
good. But
Awesome.
our CEO is very ambitious, very resilient, pays attention
Mm-hmm.
to detail.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that he wants to get us to the double figure value in the billions. So definitely, a lot of companies are growing massively, especially if you're specializing in AI and automation, for sure.
Right. So your product has AI and automation inside of it?
Yeah. So our product has AI and automation and low code, which means it takes away all the constraints of manual testing. So anything that you have to do manually, whereby
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to like create a test case, our platforms eradicates that step. So it will show you your most at-risk areas to make test cases from, so you're able to deploy it. And when you're able to deploy it, your applications are going to be run smoother. Whether you use Zoom, Microsoft Teams, you use Salesforce, you use Workday for your HR purposes. Um, you use Atlassian as well for your test management purposes as well. You use GitHub. You use HubSpot as well.
Right.
So we're making sure that our test cases are built in for you, for those business applications, the main business applications, to make your applications run smoother. And when your applications run smoother, your business runs smoother, and it increases your customer retention as well. So let's say, for example, you bank with Nationwide, right? For example, and you're
Right.
trying to type in, you're trying to like transfer money from one from your banking application, but then of course you're unable to do that as well due to the fact that you have to manually put in your information as well, or the testers that are responsible for that banking application have not tested the application properly. That you may get some error messages from your phone, for example.
Hmm.
Those those situations allows you to lose customers, and
Yes,
you
of
don't want that to
course.
be the case. So you've got to
Right.
be constantly testing your applications as well. That's why testers, they're testing their applications at least every 3 months. That's why they're always
Right.
asking for review feedback. I don't know if you see that in your banking application or any app you're using.
Yeah.
They always
Yeah.
say give a review, because they need to see the review to ensure that, okay, fine, we need to see if we need to kind of manage all the bugs and defects in this application to make sure that the application is running smoothly. WhatsApp,
Right.
Instagram, all those sort of things as well that have constant issues with crashing issues and all that kind of stuff. They need
Yes.
to improve on that massively as well, based on the reviews that people give. Yeah, that's it.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. It's a big market, man. It's not an easy answer to it's not an easy question to answer because it's so wide.
Of
It's so
course. Of
widespread. You
course.
gotta be passionate about it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in terms of developing passion, like, are there any books or podcasts or like speakers that you've listened to that have really improved your skills, or you'd suggest somebody new to the industry to look into?
Um, so there's a guy called Grant Cardone, the 10x rule.
Yes.
I always watch him as well because he kind of presents a consultation sales background of things as well, and he's very robust with it.
Mm.
Um, there's another guy as well. I'm not too sure if I remember his name massively. Actually, I do. His name's Andy Elliott.
Okay.
Um, and his Instagram is official Andy Elliott, and he's a sales machine, I would say, that is very resilient.
Mm.
Doesn't take no for an answer. He previously used to be a car salesman, and
Okay.
now he's gone into actually building, car salesmen or women professionals
Okay.
to ensure that they are successful in their job. So it provides a lot of enablement training for them to
Okay.
be successful in sales by
Hmm.
developing their pitch, making sure that they look at the right customer, make sure they identify the right customer, and making sure that they're building revenue and they're building commission for themselves. So like he does, a robust regime whereby you can't be fat. You make sure you go to the gym. If you don't go to
Yeah.
the gym, if you don't go to the gym or whatever, then you're not going to sell more. He kind of talks
Yeah.
about
Attractive
well-being.
people sell more.
Exactly. So that kind of plays in your favor as well. And also a healthy mind sells more because you're able to
Yes.
actually think correctly rather than being sluggish and procrastinating as well and stuff like that. We've all gone through that. We've all
Yeah.
gone through that process. So those two people, there's many more out there too that I kind of listen to as well. I listen to the Sales Truth. I
Okay.
listen to Mike Weinberg specifically for my role, which is sales management, the effective ways of being a better sales manager /
Okay.
leader.
Yep.
So I'm on his second edition book actually as well, to be fair. So like he talks about, being in a high performing and accelerating company.
Hmm.
How do you manage personalities there? Because when people hear high performing, high progression, they think, oh my God, I'm due to have a promotion in the next 6 months. No, 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 no. That's not the case. You have to make sure that you're aligned with the company's core values, you're aligned with the company's goals in order for you to make sure that you're going to be the front runner for that particular promotion. So you've got to
Right.
have to work from the ground up as well too, in order for you to do that. Because a BDR's lifespan is at least max 2 years for them to go into the next role as well. Because that 2 year
Right.
window will give them understanding of, I understand the product, I understand how to pitch, I understand the capabilities of the product. I can sell to customers as well
Yeah.
confidently.
Mm.
Um, and in terms of self-development books, I read the 1% rule,
Hmm.
which kind of allows you to achieve your wildest dreams. Like it kind of builds your mindset to understand that no one can tell you that you can't, achieve your dreams, no matter
Right.
what they are as well. And you shouldn't listen to what people say about your dreams as well, because they don't understand. So you may be a tyrant. You may be like, oh, yeah, like I trust my dreams. No one can tell me nothing as well. Yeah, you can act that way because with people that are trying to tell you that, oh, those dreams can't come true. No, no, no. It's because you didn't win anything. You don't dream hard enough. You don't dream further.
Right.
You're
Hmm.
happy with being in this position.
Hmm.
It's the same thing. Like I attribute it with like what Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance. It's like people called him a tyrant. People called him, oh, he's too competitive, or he's too rash, he's too this, he's too that. No, because you didn't win anything. He's won stuff. You ain't won anything. So you can have that. You can afford to have that mindset. But if you want to play with me, this is the mindset you have to follow. You have to follow this regime. This is the way I play basketball or football or whatever. Cristiano Ronaldo, the same thing. So you got to build that. It's just building that mindset. So I advise, people to kind of listen to those people on YouTube. Diary of a CEO as well is good.
Yeah.
I watch those podcasts too. And yeah, making sure that you're reading more, self-development books. It may sound boring. It may sound like, oh, I don't want to read. I ain't got time in a day. Mate, 30 minutes is all you need sometimes every day,
Yeah, keep it simple.
Keep it simple. You don't have to be, because it's like going to the gym. It's like, you're not going to go to the gym for 5 hours in order for you to get wham. That's not possible. You can go to the gym effectively it's like literally says in the 1% rule book, being able to be 1% better every single day.
Right.
No one's perfect. Nobody's perfect. You have to constantly build yourself every single day. So you spending 5 hours in the gym as well, as opposed to someone spending an hour in the gym. Trust and believe the person an hour in the gym as well is probably doing more workload than the person doing 5 hours in the gym.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah, just make it realistic. It makes sense.
Right. So if there's like, let's say, an 18-year-old fresh out of uni, how do they get into sales? Like, how do they get to the position that you're in?
The best thing for them is to understand. They want to go into sales. They need to understand what industry in sales.
Right.
Whether it's being a consultant, being a BDR, being an account executive, a junior account executive, or they want to go into customer success. Do they want to be in the front line of sales and move into, being an individual contributor, which is an account executive? Or do they want to go into, I want to be a customer success, whereby I want to just be doing customer service, which is the low end of sales, whereas you're not making that much money.
Right.
So everyone's driven by money. Let's be honest. Everyone's driven by money. Everyone's money motivated as well. So attribute that to, okay, now the second part is understanding what industry you want to go into in sales. Understanding the market. Understanding the market of the industry you want to go into. So if you want to go into AI and software, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to go into AI and software. I need to understand the software and AI market. I need to understand exactly who are the top companies in the UK, who are the top companies worldwide, for example.
Right.
Then go onto LinkedIn, go onto any job platforms, type in the companies, and if you want to go and do business development, if you want to be a business development rep, type in the companies and look for any business development roles that are entry level.
Right.
Look at it. And in that meantime as well, train yourself as well into understanding exactly what sales is all about. What does it consist of? What are the targets that you need to reach as well? What are your roles and responsibilities? Understand those things. And when you understand those things as well, then you go for job interviews. You start applying for job interviews. That's going to be making sure that it's lucrative for you. Do not chase the money. Chase the progression and the experience. Chase the benefits that's going to happen in that particular company.
Right.
That's the mistake that a lot of people make. They chase the money. My first sales job, Quadro, I earned 18,000 a year.
Wow.
18,000 a year. The money I'm on now is glory be to God.
For real. Amen.
But 18,000 a year when I started off as well at the age of, let's say, 23, 24 years old. Bear in mind, I have friends that are more than me. My friends, are going out, holidays, this and that as well. Mate, I was just like, I was behind.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it as like a negative thing that, oh my God, yeah, I didn't make it. But I had to start from somewhere in order for me to get to the position I'm in.
Right.
So now, like I advise, know what industry you want to go into. Research the market of the industry. Look for job roles in that industry. Go for job interviews. And whatever offers you get, make sure you're asking the questions, what is going to benefit my career in this point in time? Because everybody wants to work for a Salesforce. Everybody wants to work for an Oracle. Everybody wants to work for an IBM. Everybody wants to work for Microsoft. Everyone wants to work for these top companies, but are they benefiting your career? That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Are they benefiting your career? Or you just wanted to look nice on a piece of CV?
What are you learning?
What are you learning from it? Are they
Yes.
giving you progression? Is the progression criteria reasonable? Does it make sense to you? Okay, fine. Is the products that you're selling as well, do you enjoy selling it? That's the problem.
Mm,
Do you enjoy it? That's the question,
mm,
sorry. Do you enjoy selling it? If you don't enjoy selling that product as well, then that company is not for you. Oh, but
mm.
nah, Yemi, they're offering me 70K base to start off with, I have no sales experience. Okay, go for the 70K as well. Do you know what that means? That means that you got literally a target on your back. You fail, they will just replace you with someone else. That's what it
Yes,
is.
yes,
That's
of
exactly what it
course.
is, you know? So
Mm,
that's what I'm saying, that I would advise any, young professional that's looking to come up as well, and make money and,
mm.
elevate their career, their sales career, you know, definitely go through those steps as well. And I promise you, man, you won't regret it.
Powerful, powerful.
Hmm.
Okay, nah, man. There's a lot of information on sales, and thank you
Yeah,
for that.
no,
So,
no, that's cool.
but yeah, let's go on to the football. The football.
The fun
You are
part, you said.
the fun part. Obviously, I know you're a Man U supporter, right?
Yep, yep.
How do you think you're doing, mate?
Oh man, we're in transition mode right now. I mean, Man United is a team that listen, we're the best known team in England, in the
Yes.
world, even if you think about it. So it's like a soap opera, like with Man United. It's like it's theatre. It's like everything Man United. If you go on social media, you see Sky Sports. Everyone talks about Man United like
Yeah.
every single day. You get a lot of clickbait for it.
Yeah.
But I think the timeline of managers that we've had has been very, very questionable as well. And the amount of money that we've paid them out on is crazy. Every time we sack them, we paid
Yeah.
out more than we've actually, um, bought players as well. We paid out more managers than any other team in the Premier League, which is
Right.
crazy. And you're Man United.
Yeah.
So obviously, commercially, we're making a lot of money. Everybody, if you go to any other country, say Man United, everyone knows it. Do you get what I'm
Right.
trying to say? But I think with this new manager, I think he's going to instill a lot of stability. He's going to improve a lot of players there. I think he's going to need to add more players into his system as well. So he makes sure that obviously it's consistent enough.
Right.
But I have faith in this manager, as well. Like with Ten Hag, I did have faith with him in the first season,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it started to die out when he started to compromise his way of playing. Like he just changed his whole philosophy. Whereas
Mm.
his philosophy was Ajax, possession football, quick
Right.
football. He had to compromise that by, maybe it was due to injuries, I don't know as well, but I think it was due to pressure. I think if pressure
Mm.
got worse to him, and it's like he just didn't know what to do. So he was just relying on people to kind of make do, and that's why we weren't getting results. But with Amarim, I can tell that even if we lose, he's not going to change the system. He's not going to change it. He's going to stick to it as well. And that reminds me of, I know you may think that I'm just being excited, but he reminds me of a young Mourinho with that arrogance, that ego. Like he's just like, this is what I want to do. Like this is the best place for me. This is the right time for me to join.
Right.
And us winning 4-0 last night as well. I was happy with that too, man. So it made my weekend. Made my weekend, man. Made my
I
weekend.
hear
And
you.
Man City losing as well. I'm happy, man.
Really,
I'm happy with that as well, man.
I wanted them to beat Liverpool, so Liverpool's not too far ahead. But yeah,
Yeah, man. I think Liverpool
yeah,
gonna win the
we
league
don't
anyway.
see winning 5 in a row. That would be impossible to beat, I think.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
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 man. It's crazy, man. But you're an Arsenal fan, no?
yeah.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like this season, man, you have to win the Prem. I think the Prem is the aim for you guys, no?
It was, but our start's been so terrible. I couldn't.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bit tough, but I hope so. I hope so. We just need Liverpool. We just need Liverpool to fall off and
Oh
Chelsea to
yeah.
fall off.
Yeah, Liverpool will only fall off if they have injuries. If they have major
Yeah,
injuries as well with their main players, they'll fall off for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
Arnie Slot's in a good position, man.
Yeah, man, he's doing really well. I want to
Yeah,
lie to you, he's doing really well.
yeah.
Mm.
So, what about your journey into football? How did you get started?
Man, I mean, my journey in football started at a very young age as well. I started playing football at 3 years old at Hackney Marshes with my dad.
Mm.
Yeah, started playing a lot of football with him as well. And then as I grew, I started off as a right back.
Okay.
And I was just a quick, athletic right back as well. That was never bothered about scoring goals, but just literally kick and run. That's all
Mm.
that's all I was.
Right.
And then my dad was just like, you know what? Let's utilize those attributes, to
Mm.
being a striker as well. So he just started developing me as a striker. And then I was just more or less like, from primary school, I was like the main striker there, and I was like always scoring goals. I always had a knack for scoring goals. I was just so excited to score goals feel like the man. You feel like you're on top of the world.
Right.
And then even in secondary school as well, like I was playing up front. I was playing up front too. Sometimes I played on the left wing, and I was kind of getting my my status there as well. And at the time, early stages of sales of secondary school, I wasn't in an academy as well, but I went to a lot of trials. But but I was still playing for like a grassroots team called Ilford Colts. I was playing with them with a bunch of my friends as well, and that's when I started to develop the knack of me like wanting to score goals and being that number 9 as well that that everybody needs in their team.
Yeah.
And then fortunate enough as well, at the age of like 15, I was on trial with Dagenham and Redbridge for like about 3 to 4 weeks. Done really well. Scored a couple goals as well against Notts County. Scored a couple goals against Leyton Orient. And then from there, I was signed a 1-year scholar for Dagenham and Redbridge. So they offered me the 1-year scholar, which I was extremely excited about.
Right.
But before that time, my mum just remarried.
Okay.
So her husband was based in Nigeria. So I couldn't be left alone in Nigeria as well. And obviously at that time as well, with like, like family and stuff as well, on my dad's side, it was kind of just like, yeah, it wasn't really the best.
Techie.
Very techie. And then after that, I told my friends about it too. And I was like, I was so nonchalant about it. I was like, oh, I'll go and win a scholar at Dagenham. Everyone was like, Yemi, why are you not gassed? I got to go to Nigeria. Everyone was like, oh, Yemi, bro. Yemi, no way, no way. Like everyone from school was saying it as well. Like, oh, Yemi, man, damn, this and that. So
yeah,
it was. I didn't understand. Anyways, I understood at the time, yeah, but I don't think my mum understood at the time. Like some of my friends, like dads and parents were like, I will take Yemi. I will take him in. Like,
right, yeah.
Go to Nigeria. I'll take him in. Don't worry, he's good. Let him focus on his football here. One was adamant. No, I'm not leaving him here. And maybe because, I wasn't like a gang member or anything, but I was very much like a very popular guy. So I was a very popular guy, whether it's with females, whether it's with gang or whether it's with other things as well. Like I was very like popular with stuff like that. So it's like my mom always worried about me and that side of things. Especially where I grew up as well in Broadmead. Like it was very much, it's a place of champions, a place of people that come from the ground up. And now if you see them now, like they're all excelling. People got businesses now, people are, got good jobs and everything else as well. So like I kind of see it as like, it was a learning curve. And maybe God just said to me, like, now's not your time to do that,
Right.
So I went to Nigeria for a bit. I was there for 2 years, done my A-levels, came back to Loughborough University. And that transition for me as well. I was playing football. I played non-league football there, played against like top teams as well. Like I played against Man United, Leicester, Burnley in like pre-season as well. So I was keeping that high level performance there as well. Like my talent was still there as well. Just I need to attribute that with hard work.
Right.
And then when I was in Loughborough, I played for a team called Loughborough Dynamo. And that's when I got my trial at Scunthorpe for like 6 weeks.
Okay.
And then at Scunthorpe, like I was doing really well at Scunthorpe. I really enjoyed it. The first week was tough because obviously adapting to the fitness levels. But I started to adapt myself afterwards. So I thought, 1 week, I remember, I played my skin. I played out my skin in that trial game. And I thought I was going to get signed that game because I scored 2 goals and I came off. And like everyone was like congratulating me, like, well done, mate. You look really, really good, this and that. So the manager at the time as well was like to me, we haven't got space for 4 strikers. And at my age as well, I was like, what, 20? I was like 22 at the time, 22, 23. They were like, like, I haven't got space for another striker. But what we can do is like we can put you in contact with some non-league teams as well. So then that kind of derailed me as well. So I was back to Loughborough again. And I was just catching up with my uni work as well, making sure that I was on top of my work because I was on trial at the time. So I didn't have time to do my uni work. I was always tired.
Right.
And then I was supposed to have a trial, another trial as well with Brighton at the time. Brighton were in the championship at the time as well. But then basically there was some false information from the coach as well that told us that, we can go, but we couldn't go up, which was frustrating as well. So I was thinking to myself like, and this football thing, man, is actually tough, man. This is actually long, whatever. And then, from then till now, I've just been playing non-league football, just non-league football as well. And obviously 2 years ago, I was on trial at Barnet with Harry Q as well. But the deal that they were trying to offer me was like a month-by-month contract. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
you know, they basically they have to watch my progress month by month. There was no security. And it's
Yeah.
like, if I leave my current sales job
Mm-hmm.
to do this job as well, it's like, where's the guarantee that, I have a secure contract,
Right. Of course.
moving from that as well. So month by month
Mm-hmm.
contract didn't make any sense as well to me and my agent at the time.
Mm.
So he just said, yeah, I'm not going to continue with that deal as well. But now I'm 30 years old, and I mean, 30 years old in England. I don't say never. Like, I'm not the type of person that is going to be, unrealistic to things as well. Because the country, when you're 30 years old, it's like, oh, we won't bank, we won't bank on someone that's 30 years old, X, Y, Z, whatever, whatever. But
Yeah, of course.
if abroad was an option, if it was presented to me, I'll definitely look into it as well and play 2 years there. Like, I'm still 30, I'm still fully fit, I'm still,
Mm-hmm.
in good shape. But yeah, I'm just playing non-league right now as well, and just like, kind of just making sure that I'm just developing my trade, making sure I'm keeping fit. So yeah, man, football's is another identity of me.
Right.
It's always
Right.
gonna.
Right.
I'm always gonna love football as well. And when I have children, they're definitely playing football for sure, 100%, 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Of course.
Yeah, man.
Project Mbappe, as they say, man.
Oh, I'm telling you, there's even projects, even what's it, Yamal now as well, and Bellingham and all them lot there as well.
Yeah.
So it's like,
In 1 year, man.
Wanieri as well. I can't lie to you. Wanieri's a good player. He's a good player, man. He's a good player, man. Wanieri's up and coming, man. I see him, man. I see
Yeah,
him.
bro.
He's got to
Serious.
play more. That's the only thing. Rest Saka, play Wanieri a little bit more. Yeah, good
Mm-hmm.
to go, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, what do you think are the key like mindsets that you need to be a good footballer? Like,
Oh
what key
man,
mindset that you need?
you just gotta have like top resilience, man. And
Mm,
you gotta be able to work hard and train. You have to work hard and train. There's no shortcuts to, you know, being a top footballer.
right.
Make yourself understand that you're gonna have to eat well, sleep well, train well. When you're in training, you train how you play. You don't try and coast in training. You listen
Right.
to coaches' advice as well. Sometimes some coaches as well, they say the wrong advice, but at the same time, just heed the advice and then kind of let your talent shine through as well. Because at the end of the day, you're on the pitch. You're
Mm,
responsible for excuse me, you're responsible for your own outcome and your performance, and also being fearless. Fearless is
mm,
the most important thing. Do things that are out of the ordinary. That's what separates the best from the rest.
right.
Don't be ordinary, man. No,
Mm,
it's not time for being ordinary. Don't be simple. Be
right.
different. If you feel like taking on, if you feel like you can take on three people and score a goal, take on three people and score a goal. If you feel like you
Mm,
can take on one person and pass it, take one person and pass it. You
mm.
know,
So you
stuff like
have to
that.
be able to take risk.
Yeah, man, take risk. That's life in
Mm.
general. You want to take risk. In order for you to be successful, you have to take risks. If it
Oh,
doesn't work
100%.
out, look at the areas that you need to improve on that it didn't work out on and work on it. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, that's interesting because obviously there's parallels between all areas of life.
Facts.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, for sure.
There's parallels between all areas, and
Hmm.
how like I know there's a lot of guys that get into football young and maybe they get dropped by their team or like their contracts gets I don't know
Terminated.
terminated and stuff like that, and then they have to retrain and get into the working world. So what would you say for guys like that who've had to go into like the 9 to 5s or starting a business? Like what would you say is kind of what should you do in those situations?
I mean, the first thing that you're gonna have to do as well is just recognize, like, you know, this is the situation that you're currently in,
Mm,
and let's look for solution. So instead
right.
of wallowing away as well, crying about something that you cannot control,
Right.
that's football and that's the way of life as well. Like, your fate is in the hands of someone else.
Mm,
It's very opinionated.
right.
If you're a footballer that's just been released, or been released because you had a major injury, for example, and you can't play football anymore, and you're going to go into the working world, you have to understand where like, you have to understand as well in your mind, this is my situation right now. I can't play football anymore. So what I've got to do now is I need to look for a solution. I need to look for a 9 to 5 job, something that
Right.
will interest you. There's a bunch of
Mm,
footballers that have been in that situation before.
right.
So I'll always advise as well, accepting your situation. You have to accept it. As
Yeah, look.
hard as it will be, accept it.
Yeah.
You
Like
know, and then yeah, go ahead.
if you look at like Jack Wilshere, like obviously
Yeah,
he's a big example. You know, he had the world in front of his feet, but the injuries was just killing him. You know what I'm
It's just killing
saying?
him. It's just killing him as well. And obviously, that's why he has to adapt his mindset to say, you know what, I accept that. Okay, fine, this is happening to me. I'm going to be a coach.
Yep.
I'm
But
still
I'm
in the
gonna be
football
the best
space.
coach I can be.
But exactly. So now you have to re-engage your mind now to say, oh, you know what? Even though, like, okay, fine, I can't be the best footballer I can be, but I can make sure that I can be the best coach for me to develop the best footballers. That's fine. I can do that. And understanding, and accepting the situation and understanding what it is that they want to do next. What do you
Right.
want to do next is going to bring interest in you and make you happy without
Yeah.
football being the central, part of your happiness. That's something that is extremely hard. It's an extremely hard skill for someone to kind of adopt. But at the same time, it's like, okay, this is what I want to go through. This is the situation I'm going through, but I want to go on this journey as well. And I've got the supportive network to help me. Simple.
Right. Okay. So in terms of like football and fitness, what's your regime? Like how many times are you in the gym? What types of things do you do in the gym?
Yeah, so like roughly I go to the gym. I try to aim to go to the gym, like let's say in a week, I'm doing 4 times a week in terms of like football and gym. So
Right.
like let's say I train twice a week and I try to aim to go to the gym twice a week. So
Mm-hmm.
I ensure that, okay, for example, I work on, cardio, which is important.
Of
And I
course.
work on like the core strengths as well, because a lot of the time when you're playing football, you have to engage in your core. So you've got to
Yes.
do a lot of, sit-ups, plyometrics, heel raises, to obviously strengthen your ankles and your hamstrings, hamstring curls, back extensions,
Mm,
pull-ups as well. So I
mm.
kind of like make sure that it's all interwoven as well with the 2 days I'm going to the gym.
Right.
But yeah, cardio is a big factor. You have to put cardio at least, like I do. I aim to go into the gym for an hour. So I do my cardio at least between 20 to 30 minutes
Okay.
of cardio as well. I make sure that I do a fat burn workout. So I make sure I'm excreting all the fat.
Right.
And I do that on a consistent basis as well to make sure that my body's still slim and, you're still toned.
Right.
And then, of course, like I'll go to like, not much weight training, but it'd be more body weight, like with elastic bands and stuff. So I kind of do that kind of workout as well. So it kind of varies really, depending on what I want to work on, really, to be fair.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
it's
you have to
fine.
keep yourself in tip-top shape. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, to keep the stamina and to have the explosiveness, etc. It's important.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
exactly.
develop all of that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, we're getting on to the juicy part of the conversation, So I obviously have to ask it straight. So, how do you find the dating scene as a professional and somebody that is obviously playing football as well?
Um, um, I find it hard at times as well, because it's like I've got so much stuff I'm doing as well within the week, and to try and find time to, date and, try and, find someone suitable for me has been pretty hard.
Mm,
It's something that is an area that I'm definitely trying to improve on.
right.
But it's just down to me really, to be fair. I think the dating scene right now as well, but there's most women out there, for example, like if I've been, talking to like, several women as well, it's like I start to see a particular trend in terms of, I want you to be my daddy, I want you to give me money, I want you to give me this and give me that. So rather than, try to give me some substantial, feelings towards like you and me, like, how are you going to add value into my life as well? Are you going to look at me? Are you going to add deposits, or are you
Mm,
going to, withdraw from my life?
right.
You know what I'm trying to say? If you're going to add
Mhm,
more deposits, or you're going to withdraw, you're going to add more withdrawals. And,
mhm.
I want the latter. I want to make sure that, you're adding value into my life as well. I'm adding value to yours.
Yeah.
It's all part and parcel as well. And I get it. Relationships are all give and take. But
Mm.
it's like nowadays in the dating scene, especially in our generation, it's like, oh, loving unconditionally, I think, is out of the window. It's all conditional now. It's like, yeah, if you don't
Very
give me, if you
conditional.
don't cook for me, I don't do this. If you don't do this, I won't do this. I really, nah, I ain't got time for that. I don't need to crack my brain when it comes to love. You get what I
Mm.
mean? That type of feeling. Yeah,
Right.
man.
And I guess like in terms of like where you meet women, is it mainly in person, apps,
I'm a
clubs,
natural
holiday?
person. Yeah, man. I like to meet people in person as well. I don't do dating apps. I don't do dating
Okay,
apps at all.
okay.
No. You gotta meet the person in person as well because you get a better feel of that person, right? And dating apps, you can, God forbid, you can go against, listen, you can get in touch with a serial killer. You never know. And like, it's dangerous. Like, you gotta think about your safety. Honestly, you have to
It's true.
like,
It's true.
because if you don't, be pragmatic with these things as well, then you're not gonna get what you want really. So like, I'm more or less like, going out. If it's like, I don't really go to the clubs that much. I don't really go out. I don't drink. I don't smoke like that. But not like that. I don't smoke in general. I don't drink at all. But like, if out in a party as well, if I like a girl I see as well, I'll approach her, say hello, have a conversation, and that's it really, to be fair. But I mean, for me, yeah, man, it's like natural, conversation is important,
Right, right, right.
rather than dating apps as well. Even DMs, I won't even lie to you, like DMs is, yeah, I don't really do, yeah, DMs, I don't really do
You're not
that,
there,
man.
you're not on
A
Instagram
lot of,
DMing.
yeah, a lot of women just like to screenshot stuff and say, "Oh, look at this guy." You can be in group chat. I'm telling you, you can be in group chat before you know it. You be in group chat and they be like, "Oh no, you're talking to this girl. You're talking to that girl. You're talking to that girl. Oh, this guy's always in my likes. This guy's always in my stuff like that as well." A lot of men do that nowadays, being in women's likes, going in people's DMs as well. It just shows that that's a bit low value for me anyway. To be
Yeah,
honest,
no, I hear what you mean.
you got to
Obviously,
position yourself as a king.
yeah, and obviously there's different ways to do it. If you can do it with certain tacts, if you know what I'm saying, and
Exactly.
sometimes, or maybe a lot of the time, some guys overdo it and they're too thirsty and sending
Yeah, yeah. What
the
we call
heart
them
eyes
is,
every
yeah.
story,
That's
and
crazy. That's crazy. It's like, that's aimless and gameless men, man. That's what I say.
yeah,
Aimless and gameless. If you have no
aimless
game,
and gameless. I like that
yeah,
one.
man, aimless and gameless. Like, Kevin's the one that actually taught me that saying as well. So
Right, aimless and gameless.
Pambino told me that saying, aimless and gameless. It's
Right.
like, if you don't have game, man, then you're gonna struggle, man.
Oh,
You're gonna struggle big time.
100%.
And that's game not to try and woo the woman, but to kind of speak life into the woman as well. Do you get what I'm trying to
Right.
say? Engage her. Make sure that she's responsive to what you're saying as well. Make sure she understands your intention. Those sort of things.
Right.
Mm.
And would you say you're at the stage of marriage and kids, or is that too early for you?
I need to find someone first before I think about that anyway. But for me, like, I mean, like, yeah, like, it's just, yeah, of course, I want that as well. I want marriage and kids. I want to be able to kind of build a legacy for my family as well. And then when women say that, oh, why do men say legacy and everything as well? What does that mean as well? It's like, we want to build a legacy for us as a family, so we can break generational curses.
Right.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because like, sometimes I feel like we are, based on the conversations I have with several people, whether it's in the workplace or whether it's like within my family circle, it's like we're a product of our parents' trauma.
Yes, 100%.
So we have to be mindful of the fact that we need to understand that, okay, fine, like the person I'm getting myself involved with, we're breaking generational curses. Let's say, for example, so for me, like, my parents are not together, they're divorced. I don't want that for my life. One
Right.
wife and one wife only. That's it. It's not even about the monetary side of things as well, whereby you have to pay this and that, alimony, all that kind of stuff. It's not about that. It's just that's my mindset. One woman, and that's it. But I just need to find a suitable one, I guess, anyway, as well. So, and
Right.
she has to be, I have to be her person also.
Of
That's just
course,
it.
and it takes effort and an element of God's timing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah. Do you approach women on the street, like in the day, like if you're going to work and you see somebody at the train station, would you approach?
Listen. I like what I see. If I like what I see, I'll go for it. That's it.
Yeah, no
That's it.
hesitation.
Yeah, no hesitation as well. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that she can say is no. I'm not
Yeah,
interested.
right.
Okay.
Move on.
Rejection. Just move on. That's it. Like, no, I don't. I'm not interested. Thank you. That's it. That's it. That's
Right.
the worst thing they can say as well. Like, I hear no's every day at work. So
Right.
hearing no from a woman as well, it's not going to really damage my ego. I'm here to find someone to hurt my feelings, really, to be fair.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's all
Yeah,
good.
I hear you.
Yeah.
No, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
And how important does faith play a part in your dating and just in your life in general?
Yeah, I think it's important for me. I think, yeah, to have someone that is, embarking on their faith. Someone that recognizes God as their Lord and Savior, for example. I'm not an evangelist whereby like I will force you to, take on board, Christianity if you don't believe in God. I'm not that type of person to do that. Because at the end of the day, you should know what's right from wrong. And I'm not prison guard. I'm not a prison warden. I don't make people, feel like, you can't be yourself around me as well if you don't believe in, Jesus Christ at all. But obviously respect my faith and
Right.
understand that obviously that's my own, that's my relationship with God.
Right.
But yeah, I think, having a woman that's, embarking on their faith as well is definitely important because it kind of sends the message that, this woman, understands and recognizes that she has a personal relationship with God. And then she wants to continuously, grow as a person as well, whether it's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. And that's the type of woman that you'll want to be around because she can pray for you, pray for the family, pray for her children,
Right.
showing that extra value in herself as well. But not necessarily discriminating for people that don't believe in God and they can show that value elsewhere. That's completely fine, but
Right. Right.
in terms of my preference as well, I want someone that's obviously got a good relationship with God.
Yeah, that's I think
Mhm.
being spiritually compatible helps a lot because you're building the same castle. You know what I'm saying? You're not one person trying to build a castle, one person trying
The
to
person
build a
trying to build.
hotel.
Oh yeah, exactly
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
facts.
So
Hmm.
you're
Sure.
building on the same building.
For sure.
Yeah. So in terms of like what are the traits that you look for in a woman outside of spirituality?
Traits. Um, well, she has to be feminine for sure. And what I mean by that is, soft, gentle, kind,
Mm-hmm.
speaks life to me,
Mm.
um, nurturing,
All right.
God fearing,
Mm-hmm.
um, is always willing to help. Um, Someone that is a supportive network to me as well. Because we look for women for inspiration. Let's be
Right.
honest with you as well. Women are inspiring. They inspire us as men. Because
Yeah.
when we go out there in the field as well to go into war, we come back as well. We make sure that we bring home, what provisions that we can bring home to the wife to make sure that, okay, fine, we've bought a house, for example. These are all the items in the house. Make this house a home. Those
Mm.
sort of things. That's the type of woman that I would, love to have as well. Some women object to it because it kind of idolizes them as a housewife. Not necessarily. That idolizes you as my wife.
Right. Right.
That's the most important thing. So we're both equally yoked.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
And is that the paradigm you prefer? Do you prefer that you bring home the bacon and your wife is at home, or do you want somebody that's also career driven, or what, or somewhere in between? Like, what's your ideal?
Mm, I can give a politically correct answer, but I would I would say this though. That I would say this. I would say ideally the man should manage the financial burden as opposed
Right.
to women
Right.
as well. And I think that's why a lot of relationships kind of mess up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because trying to allow a woman to be part of that financial burden or take the financial mantle is extremely what's it called, excruciating, because it's like the challenges that you face with trying to manage your finances as well for the whole family is very, very difficult. And I think that's a man's job to kind of facilitate that.
Right.
And the woman's job is to definitely, it's gender roles really, to be fair, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, a man should definitely be the one that's being the provider, being the protector of his family, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to the woman being the nurturer and the caregiver in the family. Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying? So I don't attribute, cost of living right now is crazy. I do not say that a woman should not be career driven wholeheartedly, as long as she behaves as a boss out there, as a wife at home.
Right.
A lot of women, they like to don't find that balance. The women
They
will
want
be
to be
like,
a
oh,
boss in
boss
both
at
places.
home, and then wife this and that. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, hey, boss outside, wife at home.
Mm.
That's the paradigm that I would want for me,
Right.
you know.
A
But at the same
traditional
time,
man.
yeah, exactly. I'm not a modern man. I don't know. I don't know what that means. The modern men are weak.
The body men are
The
weak.
modern men are weak now. They're weak. So it's like, yeah,
Mm.
it's like, oh no, I want 50-50. What's 50-50 mean? It doesn't make sense. That's
Right.
if you want a traditional woman, you can't say 50-50.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's just my book anyway as well. I may be wrong. I don't know.
No, I think everybody
I'm
has
not
their own designs,
yeah,
and you have to design the life that you want. So you have to go for women that want the same things that you
want the
want.
same thing as well. Exactly, equally yoked. you know,
Exactly.
and like, you know, and it's a lot of the time as well in a generation, they feel like, you know, sex is the main factor of them being majorly compatible. It's not. It's not at all. It's all
Right,
about
right.
mindset, you know. It's like,
Mhm.
you know, you can have the girl with the best body and everything else, but at the same time, that person's an airhead.
Yes.
You're gonna
Yes.
say like,
100%.
you know, I don't want to be around someone like that. I want to be around someone that's actually looking to progress, looking to grow, that wants to literally, you know, do life with me.
Yeah,
You know,
build a family and,
yeah,
as you said, build a legacy.
yeah, man, an empire, man, for
Hundred
sure.
percent, 100%. So, so yeah, what's next for you in your career? Like, where do you want to take it? Like, what's the plans? And
Yeah, just continue. Like, don't want to give away too much, but like, just like continue progressing,
Mhm,
more on a higher level, from my current role now in terms of my
mhm,
career. Um, you know, I have aspirations as well to be at, you know, a top level in the strategic side of things in my company. So that's
right.
something that I'm definitely trying to achieve in the next coming years.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you know, making sure that, you know, keeping my mental health correct as well, making sure that I keep myself consistent with everything I'm doing, whether it's gym, seeing my family, you know, being around, you know, people that I care about,
Mm,
you know, making sure that, you know, football is obviously, you know, still at the forefront. I've got some aspirations in football as well, in the football industry that I'm looking to tap into as well.
all right.
So that's obviously something in the works anyway. And yeah, just, you know, being able to help people, you know, being able to inspire people. And I hope that this podcast episode is able to do that anyway. So, you
Yeah,
know,
100%, man, hundred
you know,
percent.
this platform as well. I'm glad that I can kickstart this platform anyway, you know,
Yeah, of
with
course,
my wisdom
man.
and knowledge anyway. So this is
No,
something that, you know, definitely I would love to do this again with you. And yeah, my future right now, I think it's looking bright at the moment. It's looking bright.
that's good,
I'm really content with what I've got right now. But I'm
man. Right.
always pushing for more. I always want more.
The
Always want
ambition.
more. Yeah, man. Always want more. Always
Yeah.
want more. Always keep curious, man.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah, man.
I'll probably end it off with this last question. So
Okay.
you're a guy, you just reached 2020.
Mm.
We're both 30, 30. What should be your focus in those 10 years? Like what should you be aiming to build in those 10 years?
I mean, what I'll say to my 20-year-old self is understanding as well, and particularly your situation, whether you're in university or you're not in university, you're in a working field.
Hmm.
Definitely understand in those 10 years, have a particular plan for your career and for
Mm-hmm.
your life. Make
Right.
sure that for your career, you know what you want to go into, you know exactly how is it going to look for you in the next 5 to 6 years in that time as well. And the 4 years after that as well, that's when you started to look into, you know, building a family, finding a suitable partner, you know, making sure that, you know, you've got things in order. And, you know, think about the short-term pain you're going to be facing. What I mean by short-term pain, not going to parties often, not being visible
Mm.
to parties all the time, not
Mhm.
drinking, not smoking, keeping your mindset right, going to the gym, reading books, making sure that you're eating right, keeping your mind sane, speaking to people that are professionally in that field as well with therapy. Make sure you speak to them as well in more depth about what you want to do with your life. I guarantee you, man, the long-term gain you're going to face as well. But even before you're 30 years old, trust me, it will work dividends. But you got to be able to work. You got to be willing to work. You
Right.
have to be willing to work. So that's what I'll say to my 20-year-old self and any other 20-year-old as well that's out there that looking to kind of reach their goals. Definitely, man. Organize your life. Cut off the all short term stuff as well. Not saying you shouldn't party at the same time, but don't make it like a necessary focus in your life.
Right.
The
Yeah.
party and the drinking is not running away. I'm telling you, it's not.
It's always gonna be there.
It's not. It's always going to be there, man. Women, they're always going to be there, man. You know.
Mm.
So focus on your life as well, and make sure that you know you're trying to achieve stuff that you want to achieve, and set goals, set targets.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing I would say. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so that's helpful,
Perfect, man. No, I'm so happy to have you on the first episode. As I said, it's been
man.
coming for a
Thank
while,
you, man.
and yeah, hopefully people will gather a lot of value from what you said. So
Fingers crossed, man. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, and like I said as well, I would love to do this episode again as well. Definitely,
Hmm.
whether it's face to face or on this platform too. But no,
As we
Kojo, man,
build, don't worry,
yeah,
bro.
as you build, man, yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
have it in studio and all the
Trust me,
yeah,
man. That's the mindset we have
yeah,
to have as well. But no, honestly, man, like obviously, Kojo, honestly, thank you so much for having me here as well. I think that, you know, your platform is going to do wonders,
Mm.
definitely. And I'm looking forward to other episodes as well that you have with other people too. So
Yeah, 100%,
yeah,
man.
man, you're doing a good job right now, man. Doing a great job.
Grinding.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So yeah, people, hope you've enjoyed the episode. You can follow me at the Infinite Man TKA. Yemi, where can people find you?
You can find me Yems1 underscore on Instagram. And on Twitter, you can find me as Adelani9 underscore. So yeah, I can just, you know, make sure that I can just share the information as well to, you know, Quadro as well to share in this video anyway too. So it's all good.
Perfect.
It's all good.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Nice
No
one.
worries, man. Thank you for having me, man.
No problem.
No worries. Take care of yourself.
Cool.